depending on where you are in your journey, you'll go to a place, you'll be super excited, and you'll want to just dive in and have all of these amazing experiences, connections that feel so magical and so elevated that you can't wait to go home and tell people about it. And that is what I hope for each and every one of you, because that is the point of all of this. I also want to speak about how we do that effectively. In this video, we're going to talk about the importance of the spirit of place, the spirit of the land, and why building a relationship with the beings of a specific place is important to overall productivity, reciprocity, and well-being of everyone involved. Just up this trail a little bit further, I came across what looked to be a turn in the trail, like an option to go in a loop. And upon taking a few more steps, it was very evident to me that it was actually a hollowed out kind of den space, mountain lion or bear sized, possibly coyote, but you get the idea. And in that moment, I had a choice. It is hot today when you are not in the shade. And this den, this opening, this portal offered shade. But there was a moment when I checked in. And when I say I checked in, I meant that I used the skills that I developed to understand my subtle bodies, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, energetic. We have different layers that contribute to our overall being here in this life. And when I checked in and I specifically asked the space if it was okay to do so, if it was okay to proceed, I got the very distinct message that it was best to respect the opening. And as this message came through, I then was told that it was acceptable to document the opening for teaching purposes. And in the process of doing this, I ended up noticing a spider web on the branches of a tree hanging over the edge, which was highly significant for me in the work that I do. And this is only because of the relationships I have built in my lifetime with various spaces and places. Now, real quick, before I go much further on this topic, I do want to talk about this whole dialogue of like, I checked in and I was told. As a way of understanding this conversation, what this is really referring to is connecting into the energy and the spirit of other worlds. Worlds that are not limited to our physical being, right? Worlds that don't use the languages that we use, and communication exists in a different way. And so on the surface level, when you hear me talking like this, really what it means is I did a gut check. So as I was at this precipice, as I was at this choice point, right? That's so important. It was a choice point. I checked in with my body and I asked, is this acceptable or not? And when I received the feelings that said, no, take a step back, I honored them. This is what I mean when I say I was told. And it's important also to start having more conversations around the words that we're using for these kind of topics, because sometimes I think they are used in a way that is disempowering. Coming back to talking about spirit of place and spirit of the land, I also want to reference something that came up in a previous video I did. If you haven't watched it, I will link it in the description below. But in that video, I was talking about how certain bird spirits are highly protective, and understanding this quality of a specific spirit is important, and it's how we choose our allies, and it's how we move through initiation points in our journey. After you watch that and you understand what I was talking about in terms of the bird spirits being protective, I also want to speak to it here when we're talking about spirit of place. Because as much as I will be a proponent of building relationship with the land, getting out into nature, getting into the elements and really attuning yourself all of the way to the way that nature speaks. It is also vitally important that we understand how to do this respectfully. So just the same way that you would not walk into someone's house and start raiding the fridge or using the bathroom and then leave without so much as a thank you. When you first arrive at a space, it is important that you check in. Am I allowed here at this time for the purposes that I desire? If not, are there other times that I am permitted to be here? These kind of internal questions are important on an energetic level, okay? There is so much evidence of people who go out and use the land in the way that they want to without asking these questions, without checking in, and no harm immediately befalls them, but you can start to see how the ripple effect of this kind of dismissive behavior has damaged things in the bond, in the relationship between worlds, between beings, between those of us who share this planet as a place to live. And so a lot of times what happens is, depending on where you are in your journey, you'll go to a place, you'll be super excited, and you'll want to just dive in and have all of these amazing experiences, connections that feel so magical and so elevated that you can't wait to go home and tell people about it. And that is what I hope for each and every one of you, because that is the point of all of this. I also want to speak about how we do that effectively. So when you first arrive at a place, it is important to check in. Have I activated certain beings that are alerting me to their discomfort or their awareness that I am in their space? For you, it is a trip, most likely. For these beings, it is their home, it is their life. And so the Tohis that I came across in the video that I'm referencing, I highly suspect that they live very close to the space I was standing to record. And so you check in and you ask if these things are okay. And when you leave, you give respect. Oftentimes it is helpful to give a gift. And a gift, in my experience, can be as powerful and beautiful as a song. Gifting is not to be confused with our modern materialistic lens. Not at all. Gifting is an understanding of balancing the scales of resources. These beings have opened up their space to us today for this video, for this teaching, this sharing. And so before I leave, I will be giving thanks. You can give thanks as you watch this video. The land will receive it. You can do this with all of the videos that I present, and you can do this every time that you go out. This is what it means to be a good human. This is what it means to live in reverence. This is what it means to live awake and aware. This is what it means to be connected in to the world, into the pulse of life. All it takes is a minute to ask, to check in. And the thing that goes beyond this teaching point is what happens next when you continue along this path and you do build these relationships. When you get really good at this skill of being a respectful practitioner, a good steward, a beneficial friend, the word gets out and you will be called to places. And you may not know why and you may not understand, but you will feel it when you arrive. And it's not always that it's the most joyous thing. It's not always that it's your top choice. But this is also why this skill is so important because just like places carry medicine, you can talk about ghost roads, you can talk about the ley lines, the dragon lines, depending on what tradition you're looking at. The earth carries medicine in various forms, in various ways. The earth is always transmuting energy. You too are medicine, and where you go and how you conduct yourself is needed. It absolutely is. And so this video is just a little bit of a dive into what it means to have reverence for the land, to have reciprocity, and to begin opening and building, deepening that relationship. Not simply doing something because you want to, and honoring the call when you are asked to step up in leadership. If this is something that interests you and you would like to go further, I would invite you to check out Frequency. The information will be in the description. It is a robust community space that offers sound ceremonies for helping connect with your subtle bodies. It is a space that offers roundtable or circle gatherings for us to be talking about what is alive and real for you at this time. And it is also the place for exclusive or first access masterclasses, which go much deeper into these very topics that I am sharing here. I am Jessica Radiance, and this is the Rune Weaver. Until next time, remember to smile, ask for permission, and give when you are leaving a space to balance the scales. I'll see you next time.